Welcome back to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
It is Friday, September 27th. Coming up this weekend, Paul Manz Hymn Festival here in St. Louis this Sunday at Ladue Chapel Presbyterian here in the St. Louis area. In studio with us this morning, Scott Hyslop. He's Cantor at St. Lorenz Lutheran Church in Frankenmuth, Michigan. Scott, welcome to the Coffee Hour.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
Sarah's excited.
I'm
Another
so
Michigander
excited.
in the
It's
studio.
Michigan today.
We went from Texas to Michigan.
But we talked about apples in the first segment, so it's like a little bit of Michigan.
It is.
It's just
It is.
Michigan all Friday. I'm good with that.
But I have to ask, are you a Michigan fan or an MSU fan?
Michigan, go blue.
Then we're good.
I know. I see your Go Blue keychain here. We're good. It's fine. We're just reminiscing about. I know. Sorry, Andy. We're leaving you out of this.
It's okay. Go ahead.
I'm good.
We
I'm
do
done.
that to you when there are other DCEs
I
in the
know.
studio. So.
I know.
So, Scott, tell us about being a cantor at St. Lorenz Lutheran Church.
St. Lawrence is a very unusual congregation. It's a very large congregation in a very small town, and it has deep roots both within Michigan but also within the Missouri Synod. It's one of the founding congregations of the Synod, and the cemetery outside of St. Lawrence actually reads like a who-who of the Missouri Synod, because once upon a time the congregation had the unofficial rule that every family in the congregation had to supply a son either into the teaching ministry or into the pastoral ministry. So you see a number of names that come back to Frankenmuth that have gone out into the synod at large and that. So it's a very interesting, fascinating place.
Yeah, it's one of those places that a lot of people will know about Frankenmuth just because of all of that good Lutheran heritage.
Yeah, you know, the whole concept of the 6 degrees of separation. You don't even have to go
half
6
a degree?
degrees. Yeah, something like that. Indeed. Yeah.
What is the musical heritage like at St. Lawrence?
The musical heritage is very rich. The very first official cantor at St. Lawrence was a gentleman by the name of Simon Riedel, and he was known for accompanying the hymn singing with a flute, and which was obviously before they had an organ put in. But it has continued along those lines and has been a very strong music program within the parish and that for many, many years. So that's something that sits on your shoulders a little bit. You don't want to be the weak link in that chain. So, but again, it's been a real pleasure. We have 3 adult choirs and a very active children's program from the parish school, and then also the unique facet to the program is we have a parish band, a parish wind ensemble. So it's the instrumental component or counterpart to an adult choir. These are all people who played in band as kids and kept playing in the church band and that. So it's, anywhere from 30 to 50 pieces in the group. So it's a good sized group and they play really well. And it's great fun to have them along for the ride.
You have a fun job.
Yeah, no kidding.
I do. I don't do the instrumental part. We have a wonderful young guy who's doing the instrumental part for the school and for the church, but we get to collaborate a lot on different projects and such. So
there are definite perks to having a lot of Lutherans in one place.
There are. Yeah, there really are.
Lutherans with a rich heritage of music.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I'm going to move to Frankenmuth. Sorry, Andy.
You could do the job remote.
I could. I totally could. Anyway, tell me about... we won't dig too much into this, but we do have a lot of listeners who love organs. So tell me a little bit about the organ, maybe high level, if there's anything cool about the organ at St. Lawrence.
The organ at St. Lawrence is a wonderful instrument. It's about a 53 rank Cassavant instrument that dates back to same builder as the one at the seminary chapel, and it's this one though dates back to 1967. The congregation went through a very large expansion of the sanctuary and needed to replace the organ that had been there before. And the name of Paul Bunges, who is a very influential figure, was certainly within the Missouri Synod. He's a son of St. Lawrence, and so he came back and offered his services as a consultant for free to the congregation, and we wound up with a very beautiful instrument.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, Many of our listeners will be familiar with Paul Manz. We play many Paul Manz hymns here on KFUO. Tell us about the festival coming up this weekend at right here in the St. Louis area.
Well, the 2019 marks the centennial anniversary of Paul Manz's birth, so that's what's sort of been spurring on. There have been a number of events around the country celebrating Manz's centenary, and the one here this coming weekend, I was contacted last spring and asked to put together a program for it, and I really wanted to do something that was different than many of the other ones that I knew of that were going on around the country. And so this one there's a lot of Manz's music involved with it, but I also chose to have some music by either people who were students of Manz's or people who very much openly lay claim to his influences on their life and work. So we have a few other people involved with the program besides Paul Manz.
That's cool. That's a fun spin on it.
Yeah, I think so. I think it works okay. So.
Yeah. What will the people who come? What are some of the things that they're going to be able to hear or participate in?
It's a hymn festival, so if you're coming, come ready to sing. Yes. They will be singing all the way throughout. The one unique thing, and I hope that it's going to be a good thing, is we're going to have the entire assembly sing "In So Lord Jesus Quickly Come."
Oh boy!
Morning Star Music Publishers is graciously giving a lot of support to this event, and they're providing copies of "In So Lord Jesus" for the entire congregation. Wow. And so we're hoping that goes well. So
I mean, nearly everyone I know knows that.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm betting on. So the choirs are prepped to lead it. The choirs sound great. I was at a rehearsal last night for it, and it should be great fun. So a lot of singing, a lot of great stuff. A couple of Manz's original hymn tunes, something he didn't do a lot of, but did indeed dabble in, and some tried and true favorites as well.
Yeah. Oh man, that sounds super fun. What's been your favorite part about preparing for this, or something that you've learned through this process of gathering all this music together?
The fun part is also the frustrating part, because I mean, I have known of Paul Manz since I was a grade school kid in Minneapolis, and Manz spent the majority of his career in Minneapolis. And if you were Lutheran in Minneapolis in those days, that was just a name that there was a hush that came across the room whenever it was mentioned. And so I've known all of his work. I had the privilege of studying with him in the 1990s. And so the pleasure and the pain of the whole thing has been trying to boil down all of this great material into one program that hopefully doesn't go much further than an hour and 20 minutes.
And the Paul Manz Hymn Festival coming up this Sunday, Ladue Chapel Presbyterian. What time on Sunday?
4 o'clock.
4 p.m. All right, very good. And a little bonus, while Scott's in town, we have, is this correct, on Monday?
Yes.
You just happen to have a harpsichord recital after chapel.
Jim Marriott, the cantor at the seminary, is a good friend, and he had asked if I would come and do one of the Monday morning recitals at the seminary. And I said, well, I'm doing a harpsichord program at the University of Michigan, Go Blue, in October, and I asked if it would be okay if I brought my harpsichord with and just did a dry run of the harpsichord program.
So you brought your harpsichord with you?
I did, yes.
Just threw your harpsichord in the back of the car.
That's fine. That's totally normal.
The harpsichord has dictated many things in our lives. The house we live in has to be able to accommodate the harpsichord. The vehicle we drive, which is a wonderful van, but it fits a 7-foot harpsichord.
That is
very
awesome.
sweetly.
So if you're driving down the highway and you see a harpsichord in the back of a van, you know who it is.
You go. You haven't lived till you've gone through U.S. Customs with a harpsichord and try to explain that to a customs official.
That's a story.
That sounds like another episode.
It does. Oh, wow.
Scott Hyslop, Cantor at St. Lorenz Lutheran Church in Frankenmuth, Michigan. The Paul Manz Hymn Festival coming up this Sunday, 4 p.m. at Ladue Chapel Presbyterian. And a small little harpsichord recital right after chapel at Concordia Seminary on Monday. Thank you so much for being our guest today on the Coffee Hour. It was a lot of fun. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@kfuo.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.